Welcome back. Now, Halloween is one of the most exciting times of the year for children and parents alike, but from fireworks to bonfires, that doesn't mean it's not without its dangers.
And here with advice on how to enjoy the holiday safely is Darren O'Connor, sub-officer with Dublin Fire Brigade. But first, let's have a look at just how much damage one firework can do.
Wow.
I think demonstrating stuff like that, Darren, is so important this time of year because it's great fun. We all want to embrace it, but we also want to stay as safe as possible.
Absolutely. This was the launch, the Halloween fire safety launch we did in Tower Street last week. We brought a number of kids in to show them the actual dangers of fireworks and the damage they can do. And just in front of me there, that's a mannequin hand. That's hard resin plastic hand that we've exploded with one of these bangers.
So this was the banger that you used?
That's the same type, yeah. And if you can see, you can actually see how tough that hand is.
Yeah, yeah.
If that was human flesh or a small child's hand,
Straight
it's actually
going to clean off.
Clean off. You're definitely going to lose fingers and lots of flesh there, you know.
And that's kind of a straightforward banger that a lot of younger kids would have, or younger teenagers would have access to.
Yeah, you can
Not
see
that
it
they should, but...
It's called a garden firework.
Right.
You know. We have to be practical about this. They are illegal to be bought in Ireland. They're illegal to be sold in Ireland, but we have to be practical. People are using them.
Yes.
You know, what we're trying to do as emergency services is reduce the risk to people, reduce the risk to life, to risk the property as well. You know, but you can see even the different diffuse lengths on them. Like that will give you maybe 5 or 6 seconds. That one there, like it's only going to give you
because on top of everything
seconds,
else, Darren, that you guys are dealing with on Halloween night, bonfires, the amount of call-outs you guys get, to reduce call-outs to accidents and stuff like this, that'll help you deal with all the other stuff that's out there, as well as your normal night's duty.
If you take on a normal night, we would deal with road traffic collisions, we deal with domestic fires, institutional fires, all the medical calls backing up our ambulance service. And then last year we received over 340 fire calls, and 220 of them are specifically to bonfires, which that's about 20 calls per station, along with all our other call-outs. So we have to try and maintain a resilience for fire safety in the city that we can respond to all the other calls.
Of course.
What we're trying to do is reduce the amount of call-outs we get on the Halloween night. But what we will do is, and people will see us as well, is we're not there to ruin anyone's fun. We're not there as killjoys. What we do is we'll go up, we'll assess the fire. If it's not a risk to life, not a risk to property or utility service, electrical lines or anything like that, we may take no action. We'll drive off, because there's a risk to crews as well, antisocial behaviour as well when we do try and go.
Well, you don't know that you don't know when that call comes in what you're going to have to deal with, though.
You don't, and even
by the time you got there, things might have gotten
exactly.
worse.
And even this, like you look at the small aerosol here.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about these. These are aerosol cans.
They're household aerosol cans. They turn into mini bombs when they're put onto fires. And how these end up on fires when people throw household rubbish, etc., onto bonfires.
So bin bags full of rubbish.
Exactly, yeah. So they massive force in them. You know, they'll take a child's eye out, or they'll cause severe burns.
Because they will literally explode once they hit the flames.
But the propellant that's inside them explodes like kind of a vapour. So, you know, they're going to suffer burns if they're in close proximity.
And that's creating shrapnel then, because it blows apart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you say to people who are attending the bonfire, enjoying the bonfire? Be careful of clothing, of course, because they're all wearing different costumes.
Maintain a safe distance. You know, obviously if you feel it's too hot, you know, stand back, especially with kids. Parents, keep an eye on kids. Don't let them out of your sight. Be mindful of their costumes as well, the loose clothing. You know, to be very, very mindful. Sparks, embers flying, and especially if there's fireworks being used in close proximity as well, is to move away from
and stay with them when you're trick-or-treating as well. It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a dark night, and a lot of clothing is dark as well, so be very mindful of that. You know?
Have you found over the years that the firework use is getting bigger or smaller? I mean, are they...
Last year the calls increased, especially for us the calls increased.
So is that telling you there's more fireworks getting in here and there's more people using them?
From talking to people this year, definitely, it has increased, yeah.
So there's more of them on the street, there's more of them being used at bonfires, etc.
That's said, like they're illegal, but to be bought in Ireland, they're illegal to be used in Ireland, but we have to be very practical.
Realistic about it.
They have to be,
they have access to them.
All we're trying to do is increase the public safety and reduce the risk from them, you know.
Darren, I'm going to bring you over here because we have Aaron, who was brought in to do some modelling for our costumes, and now he's been roped into another section of the show, as is what happens on this show, Aaron. But very importantly, children are wearing different costumes, they're wearing different layers and capes and things that can catch fire. If it does, what do we need to do?
First piece of advice, though, would be buy costumes from a reputable supplier and make sure that they maybe have flame retardancy on them. They do all carry a label saying keep away from fire. But if for some reason the costume was to catch fire, and you see Aaron's costume there, he's got a cape at the back, it's quite loose, he's got bits hanging off it here. if kids' clothing catches fire, the main thing they do is their natural reaction is they get scared is to run.
Is to run, and that's the worst thing they can do.
It's going to fan the flames, the fire is going to increase, the intensity of the fire is going to increase. So we just say, for instance, Aaron, your clothing's caught fire, what we want you to do is just to stop, drop to the ground and roll a number of times.
Aaron's been practicing this. So just stop, stay still, drop to the ground and roll.
And roll. And that should extinguish the fire then.
Have you been practicing that all morning?
No.
Okay.
You're a bit of an expert already, aren't you? But that's such an important rule to remember. Not that we want to find anyone in this situation,
the
but
natural
if you
reaction
do,
is they're going to run.
Yeah.
You know, so exactly what he did there. Stop, drop where he is and roll a number of times.
Stop, drop and roll.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Well done. You deserve an extra treat for that this morning. Thank you.
See, that to me is saying that drop and roll, though, it's going against my instinct because you're pressing the stuff against the flesh.
And I think,
an
adult's instant reaction, never mind a child, would be run, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And you want us to do the exact opposite.
Yeah, but it works. It's you know, the other thing as well is if a piece of advice for people, just, you know, if people organise their own small bonfire, the kids, you know, a small event, bucket of water and a fire blanket. A fire blanket can be wrapped around the clothing as well, and it's really effective as well, and a bucket of water just in case anything does go wrong.
I remember last year you brought Tommy out to
the training centre.
And you did a similar demonstration. That was frightened the life out of us.
Yeah, it's just the power. Like, look, the size, but the explosive force that's in them is huge, you know.
But that's actually shocking, the fact that that's resin. Yeah. That's plastic resin.
So you can imagine what it would do to skin.
You know, small child's hand, human flesh.
Clean off.
Yeah. Well, it's a warning for everybody this morning. We don't want you to be overrun with calls on Halloween night. I know it's probably going to happen, but if people can just take those basic precautions.
We have to, and we have to be realistic. You know, the fire brigade are going to turn up at calls. We're not there to ruin anyone's fun. Our advice would be, let us do our job. We're not there to put fires out on Halloween night.
Party poopers,
No, definitely not.
If it's a risk to life, if it's a risk to property or utility services, we will take action. Other than that, we may drive up, assess the situation and drive off.
Okay.
Brilliant. You do a very brave job, Darren. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, Darren.
Right,
coming up next, we'll be chatting to singer Luke Thomas ahead of tonight's TV special starring his band, the Swing Cats. Stay tuned.